Hello guys, welcome back to another video. So in today's video I'm going to compare the brand new iPhone 15 to the iPhone 13, and as the iPhone 13 is basically the exact same thing even spec wise to the 14, this is sort of also an iPhone 15 versus the 14 video. So the first thing we'll look over is the new features you get, and we'll compare the new iPhone 15 features to the iPhone 13. So a big thing on the iPhone 15 is it's now made of titanium and has a frosted back glass, which has been seen on the past few years on the iPhone Pro models. It has more rounded corners and edges, whereas the iPhone 13 has a glossy back glass and an aluminum frame. The frame of the phone's flat, so it's a bit more sharp in your hands. These changes make the iPhone 15 much nicer to hold. However, after watching drop test videos on the iPhone 15, it's actually less durable. So you'll probably want to use a case if you have this phone, which means you actually get no benefits from any of these changes. So a big change on the iPhone 15 is Apple have finally decided to change from the Lightning port to the USB-C port. However, on the base iPhone 15 there isn't really any benefit to this, as it's still limited to, I think the iPhones are 20 watts wired charging, and it still has USB 2.0 transfer speeds, which is the exact same as the specs of Lightning. So although this change doesn't really bring any benefits in my opinion, it's nice to have USB-C as it's obviously much more used nowadays. It's the standard connector, and which means you can share the same cables as Android phones. So the last big feature the iPhone 15 brought is the dynamic island, which we did see last year on the iPhone 14 Pros, but this is the first year that the base model of iPhone comes with a dynamic island. Some people really like the dynamic island, but in my opinion it doesn't really do that much. And what it can do isn't much more convenient to use, as like I showed in my unboxing video, using it for music, it's not much more effort to go into the control center instead of clicking the dynamic island. Although this is a good feature, I don't really see it a big enough of a feature for you to switch phones. Both of these phones have a 6.1-inch display, however the iPhone 15 does have significantly thinner bezels, which does make the phone look a lot nicer. And the resolution is slightly higher on the 15, and it has a higher and the 15 has a higher screen brightness compared to the 13. So the iPhone 13 has an A15 Bionic chip, where the iPhone 15 has the A16 Bionic chip, which makes the 15 a lot better for gaming. As Apple showed in their adverts, you can play AAA games on your phone. This is because the A16 has a 5-core GPU, whereas the 13 has a 4-core GPU. However, using the phone for normal daily tasks, this doesn't really make that much of a difference. So the iPhone 15 has actually had quite a decent camera upgrade. So the main lens is now actually 48 megapixels, whereas the 13 only had a 12 megapixel lens. But for normal photos, it doesn't really make that much of a difference. And to be completely honest, if you were really bothered about the camera, you'd probably go for a Pro iPhone instead, as it has the extra telephoto zoom lens, which does make a big difference. Obviously, nowhere near as close to Samsung's 100 times zoom, but it's still a big improvement. Both the cameras are really good in 2023 still, with the 15 obviously being slightly better due to having 48 megapixels. But the front-facing cameras on these phones, which to be honest you're probably using more, are exactly the same. There's no real change between the iPhone 13 and the 15 front camera. So obviously the battery on the 15 is going to be a lot better, but in my case it's not really a fair comparison, as the iPhone 15 is brand new with obviously 100% battery health, and the 13 has been used for 2 years, and the battery I think is about 87, which is actually quite good for 2 years of use. But if you look on the Apple website, Apple claims the iPhone 15 battery will last for 19 hours of video playback, whereas the 13 will last for 19 hours. So even in the best conditions, both phones 100% battery health, you're only getting 1 more hour out of the 15, and that's with video playbacks. With actual use, it will be less than that. So yeah, just a quick little video comparing these phones. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you haven't already, go check out my unboxing videos, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed. Hope you guys come back for another one. Bye.